Hey guys, Cam here from Pocket-lint, and in its early years the Chromebook was seen as a replacement of sorts to the humble Netbook. It was an affordable laptop for people who didn't need it to do a lot of heavy lifting. In fact, it wasn't too uncommon to hear phrases like "it's just a browser" and nothing else. But times have changed. Now fast forward to 2020, and unless you're a creative professional who needs to edit photos and videos, you can do pretty much anything you need to on a Chromebook. And with most new models supporting Android apps and featuring touchscreens, there's a lot of versatility that wasn't there in the beginning. This is the Pixelbook Go, the latest Chromebook made in-house by Google. And unlike the previous Pixelbook, it isn't horribly expensive. The outside has been designed using all these soft lines and has a grippable aesthetic to it. The magnesium outer shell is finished with this lovely matte colour, rounded corners and edges, all of which give it this friendly look. There's no sharp corners or angles anywhere. Even the ripple effect on the underside has its charm. It looks different to everything else and is kind of addictive to pick up and use. Adding to that, the hinge on the display moves smoothly with just enough resistance to keep it sturdy in use, but not so much that it makes it impossible to open with one hand. And the whole thing weighs just 1 kilo, so it's easy enough to carry around in your bag or under your arm. It's a really lovely looking and feeling laptop. And then there's the keyboard, which is perhaps surprisingly, astonishingly nice to type on. There's a good amount of travel on the keys and a decent level of tactile feedback when you do press them down. Just take a listen. Now, being a Chromebook, there are different keys to normal Windows or Mac laptops. You get the menu or search button instead of a caps lock key, and a Google Assistant button for bringing up the Smart Assistant on the screen. And of course you get the row of function buttons for various things like switching windows or adjusting brightness and so forth. Like the addictive ripple on the underside of the laptop, the keyboard has this addictive quality to it. I genuinely love typing on it. In fact, almost to the point where you're looking to type on it without any idea of what you actually want to type. And the fact that all the keys have lowercase letters on them, that made me smile too. Now as for that trackpad, that could be improved slightly. It seemed to need a bit more force to click or select something than we're used to on other laptops, but the multi-finger gestures are useful for switching between tabs on Chrome or viewing the multitasking multi-window view. And that display itself is 13.3 inches, and on our unit that's a full HD 16:9 panel. And it's actually a decent screen with a good amount of brightness, enough detail for you to accomplish any of your tasks. Now when you compare it to higher resolution screens, of course it's going to look like there's a little bit less detail there, but there's not enough discrepancy to make me want to spend an extra £500 to get the 4K model. Now if there's any complaint here, it's that we think the modern 3:2 ratio would be more useful than a wider 16:9 screen. Makes it great for watching movies, so that's not a problem, but when it comes to doing work, we do like the taller aspect ratio on offer from newer laptops these days. Now inside this second tier model we're reviewing, there's a Core i5 processor and 8GB of RAM, which is plenty to keep things running smoothly. In fact, we were comfortably able to drive a 4K monitor from one of its 2 Type-C ports, without any real noticeable drop in performance. Away from a power source, we were comfortably able to get the battery to last more than 8 hours without even trying. And so that makes it a real all-day laptop that you can use throughout a full workday without having to really plug it in. Now Chrome OS itself is great for pretty much anyone, and the addition of being able to unlock it using your Android phone nearby is really convenient. Now unless you like to edit photos or videos professionally, you can accomplish anything on the Chromebook, really. Because a lot of what we do is web-based, as I've already mentioned. And with Android apps now available to download from the Play Store, you can play native games on it too, without many issues. Now what I would say is that a lot of these are designed for use with touchscreens only. So while you can use the mouse or the trackpad and it does work, there are games and various apps that do require multi-touch pinch to zoom like gestures, and that means having to use the touchscreen, which again does work but doesn't feel quite as convenient as doing it on your smartphone. So of course this is never going to be your primary gaming machine, but if you're stuck and you just need 30 minutes playing a quick game, you can do it on the Pixelbook. The only other issue we found with Android apps is that sometimes they just don't scale properly to the size of a laptop screen. So you'll find things like text in certain apps being really tiny and not being able to adjust it, which of course means then there's too much white space in between the lines of text on some apps as well. So Android apps do work, but they're still not quite perfect on a laptop. Now overall, if you just need a quick, well-made and nimble laptop to get work done on the go, the Pixelbook Go is fantastic. And it is quite possibly the best Chromebook ever made. Oh, and it's nowhere near as expensive as the previous Google-made Chromebooks. So that's a major bonus too. Let me know what you think of the Pixelbook Go in the comments if you have any thoughts, or you can grab me on Twitter. I'm at Bunton on there. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you do like this video and you want to see more, and I will see you in the next one.